A 17-year-old in Canada has taken her own life after bullying that she had to deal with for over a year and a half. She was allegedly the victim of a gang rape, and she is a 15-year-old victim of gang rape. And there was a photo that was taken during the incident. The photo went viral, and instead of people condemning the individuals that allegedly raped her, they decided to humiliate and bully her instead, calling her a slut and calling her all of these terrible names. She had to change schools, and recently her mother found her in the bathroom. She hanged herself, and it's just a disgusting story that shows you that the rape culture not only exists in America, it also exists in Canada and other countries, and we really need to raise awareness about it and find a better way to solve this issue. I should also note that the four boys that allegedly raped her are not facing any criminal charges at the moment.
Right, so let's start with that, because that is just beyond imagination. I mean, there was a picture. So it's not like there's no evidence. I don't, from what I read, it didn't even sound like there was a debate as to whether this was a rape or not. You know what I mean? So evidence, no debate. How are these guys not, and I get it, they're young, and everything has a gray area, but I mean, this is just off the charts.
So this alleged rape took place in 2011, and no criminal charges were filed. As you mentioned, there was a photo, and that photo should provide some evidence to at least begin an investigation, start a trial, but that didn't happen. And the authorities in this case said that there was insufficient evidence, and that is why they decided not to file any criminal charges. But now that this poor girl, Rehtaeh Parsons, has committed suicide, all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, maybe we'll consider criminal charges now. But it shouldn't work that way.
Right, it shouldn't have to get so far that it's the suicide of a teenage girl before you're pressing charges. I mean, there's so much wrong with this story, it's crazy. Like the idea of the rape culture, as you mentioned, and then the fact that it brings up all the stuff with the technology. They're taking pictures. I mean, what are they thinking is going to happen with that? Like, there's just so many layers of this. And then just the idea of kids that are 15 that don't understand what they're doing. Between the picture, and I'm not excusing the rape by any stretch. We don't know all the details of it, but there's just so many layers of this, especially when you get to something that age. You know what I mean? This wasn't a 29-year-old woman with a bunch of 29-year-old guys. Just having that age thing in there, I think, adds just another bizarre element to it. It's just
the age thing definitely adds a bizarre element to it, because you're noticing that there are these teenagers that think that this is acceptable behavior, and not only do they believe that it's acceptable, they boast about it. They take photos. I mean, they create their own evidence of the incident, and they go around sharing it with others as if it's like funny.
Yeah.
And it's weird that they flip the whole situation on its head. Instead of going after the people that are doing this to a 15-year-old, they go after the victim.
Right.
And they slut shame the victim.
Right. So I'm going to slightly speculate here and guess that probably what happened was this picture got out, and then it's in high school, and maybe she initially didn't feel that she was raped or something along those lines.
She didn't even know that she engaged in any type of sexual activity until days after. I mean, this is very similar to the Steubenville rape case. The victim in the Steubenville rape case didn't know she was raped until all of these images and text messages came to her attention, and she freaked out. That's when she realized what happened, and that's exactly what happened in this case.
And again, this goes to the age thing, because I think we can all remember what it's like to be in high school, and if you were in high school now and you saw these pictures of some random girl, you might be thinking, oh, look what she got herself into, that slut, blah, blah, blah. So there is, again, has so much to do with the age and how these groups in high school operate, that without knowing anything, you know how kids are, and they're just forwarding the picture around and posting it all over the place. And you can see how, in a high school atmosphere, she would, in a bizarre way, it's not even that she's blamed for it, but be shamed for it in a way that the guys just wouldn't be. The guys just had sex with some chick.
That's what guys do. They have sex, and that's what you should expect.
Yeah.
It's horrible. We have to be better. We have to educate. We have to make this type of bullying so uncool, because that's the thing. It's a socially acceptable behavior right now. And what we need to do is start campaigns and find a way to make it uncool. That way, as soon as someone is bullied, that person gets shamed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that is happening. I actually do believe that with all the bullying stuff and all the teen suicides and all that stuff, this thing is turning where bullying is not seen as cool anymore. You know, if there's enough of it out there and it's made fun of enough in pop culture now, you know, on Family Guy or whatever, that the bullies are now seen as just the insecure, acting out fools, and we just need to keep pushing that until it just disappears.